So I want to talk about the second chapter in my collection of short and interesting articles. This one is self-regulation and sharing expectations. So if I scroll down a bit, we can talk about that. Of course, first of all, what is self-regulation? It's a component of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, social skills. So it is part of what makes us emotionally intelligent. And as a definition, it is an individual's ability to control and manage emotional states, moods, behavior, and thoughts. So, of course, in a teaching setting, a professional teaching setting, self-regulation is extremely important. We are concerned with behavior management and cultivating positive behaviors in the classroom. And a lot of times, we have positive and negative reinforcement strategies to do that. And a lot of time is spent teaching students how to behave and cultivating what we want to see. And similarly in yoga, because I do a lot of yoga, maybe advanced level yoga, we are concerned with developing essentially a different system to process emotion and to um, bounce back from negative experience and cultivate positive emotion and all that. So Uh, yeah, self-control is about inhibiting strong impulses. Self-regulation is about reducing the frequency and intensity of strong impulses by managing stress, load, and recovery. So, in fact, self-regulation is what makes self-control possible, uh, or in many cases unnecessary. So, it is about, as I said, emotional processing and dealing with the emotions that come from these complex situations that we encounter in life. I'm talking about how personality is subjective, and um, of course, an experience is experience interpreted, and the emotional effect is different. Um, Sometimes they say neurosis is the false interpretation of cause and effect. So, as a simple example, so you're walking down the street and someone looks at you a certain way, and there could be 1,000 different emotional responses to that. Whereas it could be something that is intentionally bad. Perhaps they make a sort of pained expression at you, and you can interpret that as anger towards you, and when in fact maybe they're in pain. So they say neurosis is the false interpretation of cause and effect. So how we react and respond can be altered, and of course to be less reactive, um, more more calm and able to process emotion would mean higher self-regulation, which would be high road emotional processing. Low road emotional processing is more reactive and less controlled, less self-regulatory. So yeah, we can change these um, responses to situations. One of the tools that they say to do this is by um, reflecting on a context, reflecting on a situation, and then thinking about how we can change that, monitoring our own behavior, the influences, the consequences, judge our behavior in relation to personal standards and broader contextual standards. And as I pragmatically, it would look like in the classroom, maybe this emotional chart. So there's several ways to interpret, and of course learning through experience, learning through trial and error, and until we are able to make small changes. I think it's the gradual accumulation of small and constant change that adds up to something much larger. So what role does sharing expectation have in this in terms of in the classroom? So we agree to a set of rules, a certain code of behavior that is students' choice. and, as I said, a very visible indication of the rules. And I am simply, as the teacher, uh, making sure that we are able to facilitate the correct behaviors that we want to see in class. And it is not follow my rules. It is you have decided a set of rules, and we want to behave this way for this reason, and we can all make sure we are trying our best. Yeah, so expectation, setting expectation, being clear about expectation, of course, important, and being able to regulate behavior. And I talk about positive reinforcement in the classroom and workplace. I mean, we need praise. Um, we need to know that we are doing well. We need to feel affection. Particularly kids need it more so than adults, I would say. Not to say adults do not need it. But it's part of this idea of positive reinforcement is part of how we socialize one another. I, but I said, is everyone capable of behaving in certain ways? No, this is we value behavior so much because of that, and um, it displays understanding of context and also intelligence as adults. A strategy applied to navigate social circumstance as well as a predictor of future behavior. This is personality, and you have the ocean model to help understand our personalities and why certain behaviors, if you have a certain type of a personality, it's a predictor of behavior. So um some people are more likely to behave a certain way than others, and perhaps that's or it is more so like a genetic predisposition. um how do we praise? It has to be contextual, it has to be appropriate, what has been done well and why. And I think that's the same in the workplace as it is in the classroom, but without in the absence of any real positive feedback, I think it would be quite a miserable workplace. So I think managers should be also approaching it